So yesterday, President Donald Trump announced a 25% tariff on automobile imports, which includes the cars themselves as well as parts. And Jim Mirabella is a professor of decision sciences at Jacksonville University. He's joining us to talk about this. So thank you so much for coming in.
You're welcome.
Educate us. Tariff 101. What's a tariff?
Well, a tariff is basically a tax of sorts that's paid by the by the company in our country to the at the border. As stuff's coming across the point of entry, they're paying a fee for the right to bring that item to the United States. And our own manufacturers, what they've been doing is basically shutting down plants, moving them overseas, and then making the vehicles and whatnot cheaper, and then bringing it back across the border so they could sell it for less.
Right.
And so a tariff is saying we're going to make you pay a fee for the right to bring it back into the United States.
For bringing it back in, for the
Right.
import of it,
Yeah.
yes.
Tariffs are used a lot of ways. Some ways they're used to basically backdoor raising taxes, but they're also used for political reasons. Like with Canada and Mexico, President Trump wants to stop the fentanyl and the criminals that are coming into the country from doing so. And so it's a way to have some political stronghold. He can also use it to help keep companies from moving everything overseas. And a lot of companies have started building overseas, so it's a way to say, build in America and you won't have to pay tariffs.
So what, has this happened before with automobiles?
Yes.
Okay.
Back in the 1980s, when Ronald Reagan became president, Japan was basically destroying us economically. And Ronald Reagan imposed tariffs on Japan. And as a result, Japan started building plants in the United States, which we still see today.
Absolutely.
So it actually worked. And the concept was if you build in the United States, you won't get tariffed. And so we can make the cars cheaper sometimes overseas, but if we're going to make it so that it's more expensive to bring it back in, it's actually cheaper to make it here.
And in the 80s, did the prices of cars and car parts go up?
They did go up, but then
Yes.
they came back down too.
They did eventually go back down.
They did come back down. You can't guarantee that prices aren't going to go up, because it's kind of like if the gym raised, because even Barack Obama raised tariffs and it actually hurt. If you raise the price of gym membership for like 5%, people just pay it. But if you raised it 50%, people would say, forget that, I'm buying my own weights and working out at home.
Right, sure.
And at first it's going to cost you a lot of money because you have to buy all of it. But then eventually you don't go to the gym and you're self-sufficient.
So
And that's what ends up happening.
Okay, so you're going into the next question that I had for you. And so what will be the impacts on customers now? Car prices and car parts will go up.
I believe they'll go up for a little bit, but temporarily, but eventually people will become more self-sufficient. When you consider that back in 1985, 97% of all the vehicles that we bought in America were made in America, and now 25% are. Everything is coming from overseas. So we're so dependent on everything coming from overseas, we need to go back to where made in America is big again.
It'll be an interesting balance because not all cars made in America have all American parts.
No, in reality, about 50% of the parts come from overseas.
Right.
So it's going to take a while to do that, but right now we've already got commitments from Honda and Hyundai to build in America. So we've got thousands and thousands of jobs being committed, and so far about $3 trillion worth of investments are being committed by other companies and countries to build in America, which should make the economy thrive again.
We'll see what happens. Thank you so much for joining us. It sounds like certainly there will be some pain at the beginning with the price of the cars and the parts. Jim Mirabella with Jacksonville University. Thank you so much for coming in.